Thursday night football back in Europe today with the first legs of the UEFA Europa League quarter-finals. In the early fixture, German club RB Leipzig clashed with Italy's Atalanta at home. We have highlights.
To get the action started, in their home colours, white and red, and Atalanta in their traditional kit too. Zappacosta. Muriel. Oh, that's really sharp. What a good goal. What a really good goal from Luis Muriel. Because he's just scored a beauty. Look at the change of pace there to break in between two and then set his sights on the corner of the goal. Not a chance. Luis Muriel now. Koopman is shot blocked. Muriel onto it, and Gulacsi has to get down smartly. Guardiola. Nkunku. Checks back, and is tripped, and it is a Leipzig penalty. Up steps Silva. Saved! And so is the rebound. Brilliant Juan Musso, who sprung across to his right quickly too, but he can't keep that out. The reprieve didn't last long. Switched off a bit here. And as it came back in, Musso went into retreat. He goes back to his line, and Orban attacked it. Atalanta turning it on again. Can they find a way through to Boga here? He's well placed. Off the post and off Gulacsi and wide. Forsberg, here's the break. Played out to Szoboszlai. Angelino's on his way into the middle. Szoboszlai, there was a slip, and Szoboszlai's shot goes straight against the palms of Musso. Over it comes, Zapata over the top. And that will do it for the first leg.
Highly entertaining 1-0 draw there between Atalanta and RB Leipzig in Germany. The English Premier League side, West Ham, they hosted French club Olympique Lyon at the London Stadium with hopes of taking an early advantage in the tie. We have those highlights.
Away we go to a huge roar around the London Stadium. And Ndombele is going to have a go here. Got plenty behind the shot, Tanguy and Ndombele. Of the first half being played out here. Oh, Dembele, has he got the pace to get there? He's ahead of Cresswell, who brings him down. Card coming out, what colour? From Felix Vaya, red for Aaron Cresswell. Here's Fornals. Oh, and Bowen's got a chance on the turn, and he scores! Jared Bowen for West Ham. Fornals, who made the initial incursion, and then a mistake from Boateng allowed the ball to get away from him. Bowen pounced on the turn. His shot deflected by Boateng, who's trying to make up his ground again, and Lopez, the goalkeeper, given no chance. Good pass to Tete. Cross is dangerous. Goal for Lyon. The Tottenham loanee Ndombele in the perfect position here. Substitute Tete plays a significant part in this. It's a really good cross. Takata. That's too long, and that's probably it. The 8 minutes of additional time are up. David Moyes' side took the lead early in the second half through Jared Bowen with 10 men. After Aaron Cresswell was red-carded on the stroke of half-time. A smile between Peter Bosz and David Moyes. See you next week.
2 goals in it again, and it was an exciting affair. And not a bad result for either team. Remember, no away goal rule applies anymore in European club cup football competition. Barcelona's recent form has propelled them to the status as favourites, and they travel to Germany to face Eintracht Frankfurt.
The Frankfurt Stadion is
absolutely rocking, and we haven't even started yet. Away we go. Jordi Alba with a little touch in towards Gavi. That's Busquets with the nudge forward. First opportunity here, perhaps, and it just flies over the top of the crossbar, not by much. Home side venturing forward. That was Jokic sending it forward now. As it's whipped in, there's a great opportunity that has been spurned. What a chance that was for Djibril Sow. It's with Kostic. Tuta's gone racing forward into the middle and tries to get on the end of it. And then a diving challenge comes in. It's a penalty for the home side. He was quick to point to the spot in real time. Does Busquets get his foot to the ball? It looks that way. Kostic sends it over, headed away only as far as Canal. Oh, what a goal! What a start to the second half for Eintracht Frankfurt. A super strike, and the stadium has gone absolutely mad. Dembele will exchange with De Jong. Brilliant play, Ferran Torres. 1-1. Dembele initially not long on the pitch, finding the other substitute, De Jong, the little flick, the exchange with Ferran Torres.
Yeah, Barcelona, typically when they're at their best, they have triangles all over the pitch, and a triangular connection causing them to score that equalizing goal. The games were good individually, but if you look at the overall complexion of the day's play, 7 goals in 4 games. Rangers the only team not to score on the day. Some 1-1 draws and a 1-0 victory. In terms of what we've come to expect, not the greatest day in terms of thrills, but the individual games had enough in them to make it an exciting watch, whichever game you chose to watch from the foreplay today.
I have to say so, because I looked at the one with RB Leipzig and Atalanta, and I felt that game was entertaining, George, just to answer your question, from the beginning to the end, because there was so much in it for Atalanta, and I felt as if, you know, they would have walked away from that match feeling as if they didn't do enough, because the own goal that came from David Zappacosta, that own goal, costed them all 3 points, because they were leading for a very long time. You know, a lot of excitement, players being sent off with cards and whatnot. So that one had my attention for all of it, all 90 minutes. So a good game. Then Barcelona, of course, disappointing. I felt as if they looked a shadow of themselves. I know yesterday on the show, you were defending the point with Lance, against Lance and myself, that, you know, Barcelona, now teams aren't really taking them for granted, and they will fire back against them. Well, we saw that today from Eintracht Frankfurt. Barcelona just couldn't find any opening.
Yeah, you know what? Because the away goals rule isn't in effect anymore, strategy-wise, teams and coaches planning for games may have a slightly different adjustment to how they approach games. Having said that, I think when you have 2-leg games, there may still be some level of measured output by teams. None of the 8 teams that played today scored more than 1 goal. And I'm not sure if the games were as open as we would have liked them to have been, which is why we didn't get the number of goals. We saw a tremendous strike from Knauf. That was an outstanding strike there against Barcelona, and it's the type of goal that deserves a win. But Barcelona fought back. I think Barcelona have enough in them to win the return game and advance. But today's action looked, for the most part, pretty tame, as we have said.
Yeah, and I just want to say it was so unfortunate, because at the end, at the end of the first half, Gerard Piqué being sent off with an injury, you know, coming off with an injury. So just, you know, Barcelona not looking like the one that we spoke about in recent weeks, challenging the opponents, but, you know, it's just the first leg. They didn't lose, as you said, Lance. That made me feel better.
The substance of the games, though, I think that, Lance, the scorelines were anomalous, not in keeping with what we've been seeing in European competition recently.
Yes.
And I hear the point you're making, but I would suggest that there was enough goalmouth action in each of the games for the scores to have been more substantial than the 1-1.
So it was more open than the scoreline suggested.
Take, for instance, the West Ham versus Lyon game. I'm looking at the stats now, the key stats. There were 7 shots on target, 4 for Lyon. There were 8 shots off target by Lyon alone. Lyon had 11 blocked shots.
Yeah.
Then Lyon had 38 crosses and West Ham had 17. 8 and 7, 15. That's 55 crosses. That's a wide open game. And it wouldn't be, Lance, because West Ham played with a man down. So Lyon would have been coming and coming, looking to get an advantage to take back to France. If I go back to the RB Leipzig Atalanta game and deep dive into the stats, Lance, there were 9 shots on target in the game. Leipzig had 4, Atalanta had 5.
Yeah.
There were 12 shots off target, 9 from Atalanta. There were 10 blocked shots, 7 blocked shots for Atalanta. And there were 36 crosses in the game. So that again suggested, the numbers did, an open game. Let me look at what happened with Braga and the Rangers. I suspect this one may be more tame than the others. And yes, there were 5 shots on target, 4 for Braga, the home team, and there were only 3 blocked shots in the whole game. And there were 37 crosses, but in terms of the goalmouth action, there wasn't a lot of it in that tie between that first leg tie between Braga and Rangers. So that's the only anomalous one. I didn't do Eintracht Frankfurt and Barcelona. I can tell you that there were in terms of crosses, there were 40 crosses in that game. There were 9 shots on target combined, 9 off target, and there were 6 blocked shots. So in the context of the games, there was excitement, but today was just a day when we didn't get goals galore as per usual. But I tell you what though, like I said yesterday, believe me, any team that plays Barcelona now, especially in this competition, they're going to say, oh, you're back to form, come and break us down as per usual. They're going to hold a low block, you're going to have 5-5-0 that they're going to face with, and they're going to be asked to play through. So before now, when they were soft, teams would take liberties with them, would press them, would try to dominate them, try to overwhelm them, try to win possession of the ball and control it from that perspective. They don't want to do that now, so it's different tactics, as you said, Lance. And you made a point that I think is so very true. We must not forget, coaches and their assistants now have to mentally adjust. What do we do when we go away?
Yes.
Because for decades, it was clear what you did when you went away.
Yes, yes.
You try to be circumspect and compact, try to pinch a goal, hold on to that, and go back home and try to finish the job.
Yeah.
Now with the away goals rule out, how do I approach this game? Do I go open? Yeah. Do I play free-flowing? Do I employ the low block? What do I do? So the coaches are still adjusting to this new rule.
Yeah, I think so. Because even as a player, you go into a match and you know you have 2 matches to play for a result and not just 1 match. There has to be something different about your mindset. I know it's a game and you're going into the game and you want to treat it as a normal game. But because you know there's a return game, there is some longevity in your mind to the task that you're approaching. So I think you're right, Jordan. I think coaches are scratching their heads as to exactly how to, especially because, as he said, we've had decades of the away goals rule, and there was a certain mindset as to how you treat the 2-leg tie. And although the away goals rule isn't there anymore, you still have an away game and a home game.
Yeah.
And there is a certain mindset that you approach a home game with as opposed to an away game.
There's another thing to consider as well. When in the era of the away goals rule, if you were playing at home in the first leg of a tie and you were down to 10 men, the onus would still be on you to go and hunt a goal because you had to take an advantage on the road. No, it's different because you go down 10 men, you say, you know what, okay, you withdraw a couple forwards, ask them to play tuck-in and make the midfield, crowd out the midfield and adopt a more stringent defensive shape because you don't want to give anything away with the 10 men and you don't want to risk anything with the 10 men because you may give up an advantage that may prove detrimental on the road. So it's still a getting used to phase, and that may have bled into the results on the games we saw today. Again, 4 games, only 7 goals. That's not in keeping with what we've been seeing in European club football competition this season at all. Yeah? So I think the big winners on the day, well, Barca got a good draw on the road. That's a good draw. That's a good point. Rangers, they're the only ones who lost the 1-0 defeat to Braga, but they won't feel bad going back to Scotland to their home turf with only a 1-0 deficit. And I think all of the teams, Atalanta, as Mariah said, will be kicking themselves because they'll be saying, how did we only score once
And
in a
give the
game
other
that we
team
had
a
so
goal.
many chances in? And RB Leipzig, I'm thinking, will also believe that, well, we can get the job, we can finish the job on the road in Italy when the return legs come up next week. All right? So Europa League action live on the home of champions, so too the Champions League, European club football. It is a very good, well, there are very good competitions this year. This is a this is a cracker of a goal.
Yeah.
And yeah, the
Class moments tomorrow,
Yeah,
I would think.
yeah, this 20-year-old German deserves to get in there. Yeah?
Yes, yes.
All right, break time. Back with more after these.
Keep watching Sportsmax on YouTube for live and exciting sports. Subscribe to Sportsmax on cable and download the Sportsmax app to watch anytime, anywhere.